So I just arrived in Wisconsin. I made the long trip from Michigan, and I brought the frame and all the little small parts that we're going to be getting powder coated. I'm sort of in the middle of building sort of a show truck for my wife. It's a 2004 Chevy Silverado with the 6.6 liter Duramax. We're hoping to do 2 turbos, maybe 1,000 horsepower. So at this point, I have to go to Kodiak Truck in North Prairie, Wisconsin. He's got to remove everything out of the housing so we can get it shipped off for sandblasting and powder coating. If you guys don't know, Kodiak Truck remanufactures transfer cases, front differentials, and rear ends. They also do some pretty cool custom transmission builds. For example, the last transmission that he built for the Shorty Max that we did. Once all that's complete, we're going to go ahead and get it shipped off to Promax in Big Bend, Wisconsin. Definitely stay tuned and watch till the very end as we show you guys the complete process. There's a few little things that we need to make right that I didn't show in the last video. For example, the cab mount. One of the cab mounts is pretty womped out from the rust.
What we'll do is we'll pull it all the way down and get everything cleaned up. Get as much oil cleaned out of it as we can, even if we run a power washer down the tubes, and we'll blow everything out so there's no residual water in there. But then in some of the other videos you've seen that we did, we'll heat this, preheat everything, and we'll weld these tubes in. We'll clean this all down, and we'll preheat this all with a rosebud tip, and we'll weld these tubes to the center housing, because when you're shooting for 1,000 horsepower plus, probably 800, you're going to want them tubes welded, and you're not going to rely on just some spot welds holding everything. So we'll weld them tubes around. Everything will get cleaned. We'll get it over by Promax, let them do their thing, powder coating it. We'll get it back here then, and then we're going to go to the inside of the housing where the tube meets the casting on the inside, and we're going to put sealant in there so that no residual oil comes down there. In theory, it should be sealed here with the weld, but we're going to do a double duty on this.
Have you seen this before where those these tubes right here would womp out?
Oh yeah. Yeah, rims? Ryan's truck that he pulls with, which it was way lower horsepower back in the day, we welded his right out of the gate. That's a common thing. If you can hook the truck up and get traction and you're making enough power, you can spin those right out of there.
Wow.
So we'll get that all addressed, and then basically we'll just inspect everything. Obviously we'll put new pinion seal, new axle seals in. I think you said, what, you're going to do new backing plates and everything? Yeah,
I just ordered them. Yep. So they're a little crusty. At first I was just going to pull them off and cabinet blast them. This one's not too bad, but either way, guys, we're already in it. We might as well go ahead and put some new stuff on it.
I'm not expecting to see anything crazy in there, because I believe when we did this, we did the track right and we did new bearings. We use the same ring and pinion, which I've seen these ring and pinions with 500,000 miles on, and they're still good. AAM, the factory gear sets, are really good heat treat. It's a quality gear set. In fact, a lot of times, like if we build a differential for a customer and ship it to them, we're not using aftermarket ring and pinions. We'll use the factory AAM stuff. Their heat treat is second to none.
This one's a little more bulletproof. I think the subcarrier assembly came out of a Dodge. Is that right?
Yeah, it's the AAM Track Right, which is the Dodge version of their factory posi, and everybody calls it a limited slip. Limited slip is a term used that when you're not locking it up like a Detroit locker or a spool or something of that nature. But I tell you what, these things, if your chassis is right, they'll lock, and they'll lock hard. Some guys say they don't work in reverse. Leave it to the beard. He decided to do a burnout in reverse, and guess what? It lays rubber down both sides.
That's crazy. This is what I was talking about right here when I pulled this. I should have showed this to you in the last video. I was kind of hiding the dirty little secret, but it's supposed to look like that.
We'll get back into some good metal here. We'll cut this square, and we'll just come in here and trim this all out of here, and then we'll just go back to that cab mount with a chunk of cardboard and make a template, and basically just for the hole diameter, and come up here and we'll stitch weld it all the way back in on here, and then grind everything up, clean it all up.
But this frame, guys, looks crusty, but stay tuned for the next video, because she's going to be, this is rusty gold, guys, and I mean it's going to be gold when we're done with it. It's going to look so good. All right, guys, we're ready to rock. This is not the trans that's going in the Wife Max, by the way. That's a 5-speed, isn't it?
6.
Oh, it's a 6. Okay. Ooh, LML. Ooh, look at her. Got the deep PPE pan, looking good.
What I did too is I went through and I stamped the axle shafts and the hubs for each side, so to keep things
even.
Well, yeah, because your axle shafts had so much torque put on it going that direction. Now, if you flip-flop axle shafts, you're probably going to snap them if you put a big power to them.
Well then, that's good to know. So I know this sounds a little backwards, guys, but we'll be upgrading these here in the near future. But for right now, just because we want to get this knocked out, this will be a later video. But yeah, the integrity of these right here are probably not going to hold up to. I'm sure they probably will, but depending on the amount of abuse that we throw at the Wife Max, we'll probably. You've seen these snap. I'm sure multiple times.
Yeah. Yep.
That would be our weak link, huh?
That's the weak link, and realistically, we're even probably flirting with disaster a little bit, being 30 splines still with that kind of power. Oh. But again, it depends how hard you're hooking it all up. So we won't sweat it for right now. You know, somebody knows how to fix this.
Yeah.
So we'll just keep playing.
Cartage. Unfortunately, guys, in this video, I don't have, I think I already said this, I can't remember, but I don't have the upgraded rear diff cover, so I'm not too sure if I want to go with Banks or PPE. I know you guys are going to say Banks. But what I'm trying to say is I want to get the rear diff cover powder-coated white. I'm going to do that in my garage. But with this being Illusion Violet, you guys got to stay tuned, man, and watch until the end of this video. It's going to be sick. But with this going to be Illusion Violet, and then that's going to be white, not that one, but a rear diff cover, an upgraded one. And then, you know, the ends are going to be black. It's just going to be a sweet looking rear end. Man, that sounds weird. Sweet looking.
You got a thing for sweet looking rear ends, don't you?
I guess. Is there any broken teeth?
Nope.
I think we're looking good.
Yep, we're going to stamp this only because normally I just lay them out side by side, but because we're not going to have it side by side, everything's going to powder coat, we'll do it that way.
Nice.
She's mint.
Is it?
Yep.
Nice. It's impressive, though. I mean, the abuse that we put this thing in through the last...
we? It's you.
Anyways, the abuse that Earl put this rear end through, yeah.
She's go.
No, it didn't even bat an eye, man. So how many of these did you build today?
Yeah. Well, the guy that's getting the all-melt trans is also getting the rear end because his governor decided to remove a few teeth off of it.
Wow. The new truck. How's that possible?
Yeah.
It's a girl.
Slap it.
It's like it was meant to be there from the factory.
Looks good.
Actually looks really good, Mark.
Yeah, it came out good.
Wow. We're at Big Bend, Wisconsin at Diversified Truck, Promax Custom Powder Coating.
Correct.
And this is Brian, awesome dude. These guys do it right. I didn't drive all the way to Wisconsin to get this done and not get it done correctly. So
Yeah, this is going to be the way to do it right here. Tape off all these areas. We don't want to be pitting it up with the sand. We'll come in here, we'll put some more tape down in all these bushing areas where the bearings lay. Same thing, you don't want sand getting in there and hitting all that and wrecking the surface areas. And we'll sandblast everything here. And then this will go back to the other building where we do our powder coating, and from there it'll get outgassed, cooled, taped, primed, and color put on top of it. And then final bake and out the door and put back together.
you guys get to see the final result, and then we're gonna bring it back to Kodiak Truck. My good friend Mark's gonna go ahead and rebuild the rear end, and we should be able to see what this looks like. I'm so pumped. So at this point, we were able to get everything sandblasted on the rear end. Look at that. Brought it right down to nothing. Okay, so this is Skylar. He is the powder coater, is that correct?
That is correct. So first, we're gonna want to tape this off right here because we don't want any powder getting in here. And then we want to tape this off as well. Now it's kind of, you know, a little oily, got a little stuff right here. So I'll probably just spray it down with some brake cleaner and then maybe come in with the DA and just kind of clean it off a little bit. That way the tape sticks and everything. Then after that, I'm just gonna kind of put it into the booth, blow everything off, make sure there's no grease or anything like that, make sure it's all clean, and then we're gonna put it into the oven to outgas. So outgassing is basically, you know, when you have, I would say, more porous metal, you know, like cast iron or aluminum or something like that. What happens is you have basically air gets trapped in it. So when you put it in the oven and it starts getting hot, all that air is going to try to escape. And if you have powder on it when it does that, it'll basically create little air bubbles in the powder, and then it just is not going to look good at the end.
So it's got to be clean, it's got to be right before the powder can get down on there, basically is what I'm hearing.
Yep.
And prep work is key, just like anything.
Yep.
All right, check it out, guys. After the zinc primer has been laid, that's what it looks like. It looks really good.
Good way of protecting everything. A lot of companies will not put that down there. They'll put the color over whatever was there, and that was pretty much it for them. They just kind of put the color down, make it look good, but nobody ever thinks about the base part of it. And this is a big deal to have it completely done like this.
Why is it white?
Well, we kind of grabbed the wrong box of powder here. We're gonna have to bring it back and strip it tomorrow.
Oh
Yeah.
no. Ugh. All right. Dang it.
We're gonna go in for final bake now.
That white will eventually turn into a...
It'll turn into the clear color, so everything will be purple again on it.
That's super cool. So it's really right when you pull it out, that's when you're gonna see the color.
Yeah, if you look while it's baking, you can see little areas of it changing even in between.
That's neat. That is so neat.
No peeking.
Oh, come on, man! Right now, we're literally just waiting for the rear end to be done. So we just have to wait. What do we do?
Just wait. Prepare to wax it when we're done.
You're gonna wax the powder coat on the rear end?
The rear end.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice rear end.
Yeah. Very nice. What do you think, Gary?
Very nice. Awesome.
All right, so why are we dragging it outside, huh?
Oh, we're just trying to get it cooled down because you want to get out of here tonight.
Yeah.
And get this rear end put back together tomorrow.
We don't want to put that hot cast right in the bed of my truck now.
That's right.
Man, wow, look at this thing, guys. This is beautiful. This is wow factor, man.
Yeah, this is gonna look super sweet once it's underneath there all put together.
Well, Brian, I appreciate all your hard work.
Yeah,
man.
anytime.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
appreciate doing it for you guys.
it's like 9 o'clock in the evening, and I know we're busting our butts to try to get this done. And
Yeah, we'll get it though.
the process that you had to go through just to get down to that is incredible. People don't understand that.
Yeah, it's not a 15-minute deal. I mean, it takes a couple hours to get through it all.
Man. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take this thing in the morning to Kodiak Truck, and Mark's going to go ahead and assemble it. And again, big shout out to Diversified Truck, Promax Custom Powder Coating. Definitely check them out. I'll leave that link in the description. These guys really know what the heck they're doing. But hey, again, thank you so much.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, let's get to the next day. What do you think?
She's purple.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm so happy with it. I sent pictures to Melanie last night.
Yeah.
She loves it.
We'll do another flush, make sure everything's cleaned out in the housing, that there's no residual sand.
Yeah.
We'll double check the vent is clear. You know, double check our fitment on all these holes. If we sometimes you got to come back and die grind a couple of these open to get stuff to fit if they've got plugged up. But them guys on their game down there, they know what to do. That's the reason we go down by them, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I drove all the way out here. Well,
Yeah.
this too, of course,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, that to see our smiling faces, right?
So he was able to clean all the hubs and everything up. was able to blast the bolts for the rear diff cover. We did get new, these are actually kind of hard to find nowadays, especially the fronts, the brake shields. But he was able to press these in. That's kind of a pain because we don't want to scratch into the powder coating because we got these powder coated. So it looks really cool. You got to use his press to do that.
I'm good. Are you good, Josh? I'm gonna still flush both tubes to the center section, just as if we were building a normal rear end. We flush each tube in one at a time. We'll lay a rag and we'll pack one side off. We'll flush everything, let it go to the center, take clean stuff, go back to that side, and then we got a long blowgun we'll go down the tube with. But in this particular case, I actually have just a piece of old water pipe, and I make a wadding up out of a rag to shove down the tube, so we're actually dragging on the tube, because just from reaching in here, I can still feel there's grit and there's other goo up in there right there alone. So I mean, yeah, my hands were clean. So yeah, that gives you some idea that it's still plenty filthy in here. So we're gonna get this thing that you could eat off it. Not that you'd want to.
What you got?
Still a burr in there, just from the factory machining.
Wow. Like from not GM, but from
AAM when they machined it. Yep.
That's crazy.
So
I don't think that would have done a whole lot though.
no, it was on there pretty tight. I mean,
It was just like a burr.
Yeah, I had to pry on it pretty hard to get it off. But we're gonna get this all wire brushed down, cleaned out.